Oh, so
It's not Mecca. You're not the $15 a can stuff that you.
Oh yeah, $15 a can. That's crazy.
The cans are cheap. It's just the shipping.
I still have the can.
I still have a.
Is it gone?
I think. I think the only thing good about that Pepsi that they bought from Sardia is that it's supposed to be sweetened with date sugar, like dates.
There's very little sugar.
Yeah, because like how many people in Sardia have diabetes? So I've never been invited over to Sardi's house and where they make tea. I don't remember the last time I've ever been invited to one of their houses and they gave me sugar in the tea.
Really? Oh wow.
Because somebody in the house, like the older people, have diabetes. Every single time. I'm not saying like it's all, but like especially the Saudis that have money, yeah, like because they just you see how much rice they eat.
So they do have diabetes.
Yeah, a lot. They got a very large percentage of people with diabetes in Saudi Arabia.
Rice reverses diabetes.
No, I'm saying they eat too much. They eat a lot of rice. They drink a lot of those juices and they drink a lot of soft drinks, right? So it's just you put the pine cone in the. Nah, that's really actually not true. Most Saudis are not fat. I don't know where they got that reputation from.
I think it's because like they're rich, so they associate like wealth with
Nah, most Saudis are thin. I mean,
but like they're rich,
buy
so they
a Saudi loaf, it comes and it's like super skinny. Yeah, so I buy the normal size that I always get.
Yeah, Saudis are not really fat.
The sleeves are tight, and then the bottom like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where they got that I think this they got the reputation. Maybe that's like Kuwait or someplace like that. But Saudi's not. I mean, you'll see one or two. But I was there for like 6 years. I mean, the percentage of Saudis that are overweight is not a lot. It's Americans. Like we're way more overweight than the Saudis ever be.
I think it's because like money, because people always like associate like fat with wealth.
Yeah, but they're not. In fact, the healthiest people a lot of the times you see are the richest people, because those are the guys. They got their own farms and they eat everything natural. So they eat everything from their farms. I mean, when I used to eat with like one of those princes that I used to work with. Nah, man, everything comes from their farm. Everything, their vegetables, their meat, the milk, everything. And the brother Salim, the brother up in the mountains, Salim Morgan. He used to go there, and they used to always have to prepare him like 2 cups of the leaven, the milk, and just because he loved it so much that he would finish it and like give him a second, so they'd always keep some extra ones just for that brother Salim.
No, I met him in Danuba. I met him in Danuba.
What's that?
I met him in Danuba.
What is that?
Danuba is like a town like there's like go down Clovis Street, it just goes straight down past Reedley. It's right there. I met him there.
Because that's a supermarket in Surrey. Danube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Danube, but Danube is a super. I thought you were talking about the supermarket.
I met Morgan in Squaw Valley.
Yeah, when you went to go, when Munda was here, right? Yeah. That's the message because they live up in the mountains.
He still lives up there.
That's he got land. Yeah. He told me that when we met him in Saudi Arabia. So he got a bunch of.
I seen him on a TV show too.
Good. As long as you didn't see somebody else. You had a question, Hamid, or what? Huh? Yeah. Say, can you bring me a water, please? It's all this talking going on outside. Is that the neighbors or what?
I don't hear him talking.
What's up? Do you try any detox bitters?
Huh?
Do you ever take any detox bitters?
What is detox bitters?
Like, it's like bitters, like, for the health and stuff. You've used this stuff for some. There's one called Diabetic Care. It's like very bitter. Let me find the picture.
Actually, when I was in Yemen, because you got to understand, like, being in Damaj, we sit there and You what was it? Like you got like I mean, basically when you're sitting there just studying the deen every day, you know, all day long, every day for years, you kind of start to like formulate like side hobbies just to keep, you know, keep yourself preoccupied. You know, when you need a break sometimes, and you start focusing on just other things. So one of those, oh, that's what it was. I didn't cut the volume down. I'm listening to my voice like really low, so I thought it was people talking outside. So one of those periods of like 6 months to a year, I got into this Arabic medicine type stuff. Yeah, I know. Abdul Malik's telling me it's running because we're just talking. Now we know it's running.
Is he gonna come to the class?
I think not today. So I mean, so all that stuff. Akhi, I got all into the herbs and all this stuff. There was a brother. His name was Abdul Rahman al Philistini. Everybody that was in Damascus knows who this brother is. And Abdul Rahman al Philistini, he was an actual doctor, but then he went and studied like you know, prophetic medicine, and then he actually had books that he wrote, but they weren't published. But he had like handwritten books, like, you know, ready to be published, but he just never got them published. So this brother was like just a, you know, super sheikh, and like I don't know anything about that. You know, so every time that I had issues about like certain sicknesses or whatever, I go to him, take the herbs, and go home and just do it. So, huh? I guess, I mean, still alive, alhamdulillah. Sea moss only in Irish moss. I don't know. Jamaican drink. Never actually took sea moss by itself. So what is that?
Shilajit.
You talking about that tree that we just?
No. It's like this.
This is black tar.
Yes, this tar that's found in the Himalaya mountains. It's supposed to, like, you know, boost you up.
It's what they gives you, like. It has like a lot of health benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, all this new stuff that just comes out, I don't touch it. Anything that comes out that wasn't known, if it's not written in some book, you know, like I said, we can go back and you got books in Arabic medicine going back hundreds and hundreds of years. You know, Ibn Sina, even though Ibn Sina was a mulhid, you know, he's a major mulhid, you know, and he left Islam with his ilhad, but he was very, very knowledgeable in medicine. So he wrote a book. It was actually not a book, it's a huge book. You know, I think it's called Al-Qanun, Ibn Sina, but the problem with that book is that you have a lot of his medical stuff mixed in with a bunch of just wow, you know, craziness, because he had the belief of al-hululiyah, and the hululiyah is that you know, these are the people, this is a group of people that believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, is one with us. You know, even to the point like one of their sheikhs would say, like, you know, if I wanted to see Allah, I just look in the mirror, you know. So yeah, the kufr. I mean, just kufr. So Ibn Sina was from amongst these people, al-hululiyah. Now, some of the Egyptians who benefited from Ibn Sina's work, this is the book that I did actually have when I was in Sana'a, was that they actually took all the medical benefits out of Al-Qanun and just kept that alone with all. But the problem is when you take like 10 volumes, or like look up Al-Qanun, Ibn Sina, see how many volumes it is. Say Al-Qanun.
Alif Lam Qaf.
Alif Noon Wow Noon. Well, you have to put Ibn Sina because Al-Qanun, it could mean like, you know, constitution or something like that, you know, or law, because it means the law.
Wait, so Alif Noon Noon?
No.
Wow.
What are you doing? Alif Lam Qaf Alif Noon Wow Noon.
Okay.
Al-Qanun.
Okay. I knew it was Wow Noon, but then I was like, I thought you said yeah. I was like, what? Seen?
Yeah, Seen, yeah, Noon, Aleph. Ibn Sina. Like we say Ibn Sina because that's like how they anglicize it, but it's Ibn Sina. That was one of the huh? Oh, I mean, what are you trying to do with it? How many volumes?
The eye, right? It comes in multiple volumes.
What are you talking about? It comes in multiple volumes. You look it up from the last letter.
So how does the lisan define words?
Is that what you're talking about? Lisan Arab is right here. I got mine. It's normal. It's normal order of letters.
Or just the first letter?
Yeah, the first letter. Qamus al-Muhit goes by the last letter, but all right. So Al-Qanun, 5 volumes, right? So this Egyptian guy, he took out all of the medical benefits from Al-Qanun and put it into 1 volume. So that means if you were to buy Al-Qanun to read it for the benefits of medicine, you got to read 4 volumes of just complete nonsense, just complete kufr and ilhad and philosophy. And, because these are people that did not study the Quran and the Sunnah. They studied, their book of Aqidah was what? No, actually Aristotle, the metaphysics. They actually based their whole Aqidah off of what? The metaphysics. They got it in Greek. The original Greek, they got it when they did the Futuhat, and they took it, they translated into Arabic, and then next thing you know, boom, this becomes their Aqidah. So all this, the Hululiyya, the Jahmiyyah, and all this, you see that all of their asl that goes back to what? This garbage that they got from the Greeks, the Greek philosophers.
Was this like super popular during the time of the Abbasids? Like during the Abbasid Caliphate?
Yeah, because during the time of Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu anhu, he ordered them to burn that stuff. Well, they had it because they were doing that was in the time of Umar where they did all the futuhats, all the major, so Sham and all that. So, and they got these books, they got these collections because the Romans controlled Sham.
Yeah.
So then when they got these books, they got all the libraries, they got all the libraries of the Romans.
And that time it was like Anatolia and stuff, so it was like Byzantium, so it, like their language was like Greek.
Yeah, well, they had Greek, Latin. Yeah, so they took these books, because you had Muslims in those areas that became Muslim but spoke their language. Then they learned Arabic. Then they translated those books into Arabic, even though they were supposed to destroy them all. Because Umar bin Khattab said, if there's any, he said, إذا كان فيه خير فنحن عندنا ما هو خير منه. وإذا كان فيه شر فنحن it's like basically نحن بريء منه. Something to that nature, right? Where he said, like, if there's any good in these books, then we have something that's better than it. And if there's any evil in it, then we're completely disassociated from the evil. We don't need it. We don't. But the people don't listen. So Allahumma musta'an. But all right, let's get started. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. All right, chapter 222. Bab istina' al-mal. Istina' from the verb istana'a, and it comes from the word sana'a, which means to make, to produce. All right, sana'a. Then that's where we got the word in our Arabic class yesterday. Was what? What word did we take in the Arabic class yesterday from sana'a?
What was it? Oh, it was
Man, if you don't stop checking your phone, it's not even on the board. No, okay, I erased it. It's not on the board. Oh my God. Must not. Cheater. You gotta look at his phone. Must not. Must not is like we talked about the meme of must not is what?
Oh, it was the I forgot what it was called, but it's like it indicates like the doer or like
The place where it's done.
place.
The meme al-makan. because it's a place of sana. And like a masjid is a makan of sujood, and this is a makan of sana. So this meme is called meme al makan. All right, no mat'am is a makan lit-ta'am. Yeah, مطبخ المكان للطبخ. Yeah, so مستشفى المكان الذي يطلب منه يعني يستشفى فيه, you know, يطلب الشفاء من الله طبعا, not from the doctors. All right, and yeah, so bab istina. So istina, it means to like create ways of making money instead of just like what?
It's working. Like
I mean, not just working, but instead of just like, you know, just relying and going out to the streets and hanging out at the Jola at the intersection begging money, you know, with the billboards and, you know, oh, I have a daughter that's sick and, you know, and all this. So yeah, I mean, so basically it's talking about the permissibility of just finding means of making money, halal money, taban, like through business, through trade, through things that are actually halal. Huh? What happened? What? Yeah, go. All right, so call Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala 478, right? حدثنا أبو نعيم قال حدثنا حنش ابن الحارث عن أبيه. We got an issue here. Hanish is a beautiful name. You know what it means? You know what Hanish means in the Arabic language? Huh? What? It's a snake, yeah. They use the word, I mean, I don't know if it's a specific type of snake, but the Yemenis, they just use Hanish to mean snake. Snake, yeah. All right, so Hanish ibn al-Harith, he narrates his father from his father, an abihi. His father is al-Harith ibn al-Laqit, and he's a majhul. مجهول. All right, so قال كان رجل منا تنتج فرسه فينحرها فيقول أنا أعيش حتى أركب هذا فجاءنا كتاب عمر رضي الله عنه أن أصلحوا ما رزقكم الله فإن في الأمر تنفسا. So this hadith reported on the authority, like this is reported by Al-Harith ibn al-Laqit. He said that there was a man minna tuntaju farasuhu. All right, so what does this mean? Is that like his faras means what? His horse, right? He takes the horse, and when it's born, when the horse is born, instead of like feeding it and raising it up, he just what? He takes it and he slaughters it. Yeah, it doesn't even give it a chance to grow up. How did they translate it?
Where man used to slaughter colts.
Yeah, but that don't make no sense. It said minna tuntaj farasuhu. So that comes from what? That it gives birth. That it has a baby horse. What does it say over yours?
One of our men had a mare which became pregnant, which he then slaughtered.
Yeah, well, he slaughtered the babies. He said, because he said for yakulu, and the reasoning of why he did this, he said, Ana Aisha hatta arkaba hada. Am I gonna live long enough to ride on this horse? You know, basically he's saying, am I gonna live long enough? Do I expect to even live long enough for this horse to grow up and become a strong horse that I can actually ride on? So this was his reasoning, right? So he said, فَجَاءَنَا كِتَابُ Umar, and then a letter came from Umar radiallahu anhu, and he said, "An aslihu ma razaqakumullah." And aslihu ma razaqakumullah means what? Like, take care of it, fix it, have an eye and care with it. Nah, that's not funny. That's not funny. Is it? Are you okay? Now it's funny. He's okay.
Why don't you just stop him?
I didn't know he was gonna do
Sit
it.
on the floor. Sit on the floor.
I might have to.
Yeah, sit on the floor.
Just keep him up there. Keep dangling him.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him anywhere near me after that. He goes around. He rotates. He did it to me, then to Ibrahim, then,
Yeah.
and then it was my turn again. He takes turns.
Huge trash.
See, that's why Ibrahim just sits on the floor. He's like, forget it.
He knows his sister now.
All right. So, and aslihu ma razaqakumullah. Like, how do they translate that with you? What? Yeah, okay, maintain it, take care of it. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you, yeah, He's giving you this as a risk. Take care of it. Don't just toss it away, throw it away, and say, oh, because I mean, none of us know how long we're gonna live. Maybe we get $1 today and don't even live long enough to spend that dollar. So who knows? So Allahumma musta'an. All right, so he said, فَإِنَّ فِي الْأَمْرِ تَنَفُّسًا. فَإِنَّ فِي الْأَمْرِ تَنَفُّسًا. It means that there's sa'a. Sa'a means like, like basically the hour is not, we know that the hour is close, that the day of judgment is very, very close, but it's not going to be like tomorrow. You understand? Like there's tanaffus, like there's sa'a, there's time, and so it's not necessary that you go and just destroy everything saying, that, oh no. And even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam even commanded the people who, if he had a seed and the time for the hour has come, to do what? What did he command to do, the person to do? Plant it. To plant it. Because you don't know how long you're going to live. You don't know. So go ahead and just plant it. And even if you don't live, the seed.
Oh.
So even if you don't live, people might come after you and they're going to benefit from it. So, so regardless, I mean, the hadith itself is weak. So, I need to go back and check this because I think it's Hanish. It's not his father. It's Hanish. It's Majhul. It's Hanish.
So this is not.
I mean, it's not a hadith. It's a narration from Omar. It's an athar on Omar.
It's not authentic.
No. Based on this, no. Because Hanish ibn al-Harith, Majhul. So, and you got to have something to support it. What's going to support it? So, no, this one right now, not authentic. But the meaning is true. The meaning is supported through a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And like I said, the man with the seed, even if the hour is established, plant the seed, plant it. So you don't know how long you're going to be here. All right, so the hadith number 479. حدثنا أبو الوليد قال حدثنا حماد بن سلمة عن هشام بن زيد بن أنس بن مالك عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن قامت الساعة وفي there we go. There I didn't forgot that this is next hadith. He said إن قامت الساعة وفي يد أحدكم فسيلة فإن استطاع أن لا تقوم حتى يغرسها فليغرسها. So there you go. There's the hadith. All right, so it's not a seed. I'm sorry, I messed up on the narration. But so Anas ibn Malik radhiyallahu anhu, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "In qamat as-sa'a, if the hour has been established, wa fi yadi ahadikum, and if a person has a fasila in his hand, a fasila is what? Fasila is a nakhla saghira. Obviously because it's in his hand, so it's got to be what? Very small. It's like the early growth of a palm tree, of a date palm tree. So if he's got it in his hand, then what? And he wants to what? He said, and if he's able to what? That the hour not to be established before he plants it, it means to what? To plant it. Then he should what? Then let him plant it. Let him plant it, because again, we don't know. We don't know. So, the whole point is that this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you as a risk. Maintain it, protect it, and benefit from it, and and keep it and maintain it. So even if you don't fully benefit from it in your life, that the people that come after you can benefit from it. They can benefit from it, because we don't know. We can't just assume. How many people assumed, I didn't think I was gonna live to be 25. So I mean, if you asked me when I was 16, I said, I'm not trying to make it to 25 when I was 16. I said, I'm trying to like leave this world before 25. Like I had like a, not suicidal, but like I just wanted to go out with it, I was just stupid. Just go completely stupid. So you don't know. You don't know. You don't know how many people like, they thought they were just gonna, their lives are gonna be short. They end up living what? 60, 70, 80, 90 years. And so you don't know how long you're gonna be here. It's not your choice anyways. So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you from risk, benefit from, as long as it's halal, alhamdulillah, use it to your benefit and the people around you. That you benefit from it in a halal manner. But this cat's on something today, boy, ain't he? Scram.
Not worked.
All right, the last hadith. We're only going to take this chapter, then, inshallah. And what we're going to do with the live streams during the week, we're going to keep these relatively short. Not too short, but relatively short. So because that way we can focus more on the next one with the Ramadan book, inshallah. All right, so 480. حدثنا خالد بن مخلد البجلي قال حدثنا سليمان بن بلال قال أخبرني يحيى بن سعيد قال أخبرني محمد بن يحيى بن حبان عن داود بن أبي داود قال لي عبد الله بن سلام رضي الله عنه إن سمعت الدجال قد خرج وأنت على ودية تغرسها فلا تعجل أن تصلحها فإن للناس بعد ذلك عيشا. داود ibn Dawood مجهول. So it says Muhammad ibn Yahya ibn Hibban and Dawood ibn Abi Dawood. So it's Dawood ibn Abi Dawood. He is majhul. This hadith is da'if. So he said, if you hear about the Dajjal, that he's left out, basically the same. But this narration, as far as the hadith itself, the chain of narration is weak, but it's supported with the chain of narration with the hadith before it. Because the hadith before it is authentic. The hadith before it is in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed, and that is authentic. That hadith is authentic. So this one is supported by that hadith. So basically, if you hear about the Dajjal called Kharaj, if you heard about the Dajjal coming out, and how do they translate the second part for y'all?
Do not hasten to give up putting it in order. And you're planting a palm sapling.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, basically the same thing. Like you have the date palm and you want to like plant it. He said, "Fala ta'jal." He said, then don't be what? Don't be in a haste. Don't be in a haste. La ta'jal an tuslihaha. Don't be in a haste and what? To fix it, to maintain it, right? فَإِنَّ لِلنَّاسِ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ عَيْشًا. Because the people after the Dajjal is come out, what? They have like they're going to continue living. Because I mean, the Dajjal is not the end of the world. As we know that Isa alayhi salam, he comes down and he kills the Dajjal and he stays on the earth for how many years? Huh? All right. Well, that's a whole nother issue that we have to go into because 40 years, 7 years. They say that he completes 40 years on the earth. No. There's difference of opinion about that issue. Because some of the ulama say that when he was raised up, that he was 33 years old. So he comes back in, and when he comes back, he stays for 7 years until he's 40. And then the other ulama no, this is 40 years. So it's, like I said, that's a whole issue that we have to go in. But the point is that he's going to be here for a time. Then he's going to die. Then after he dies, then the wind comes from from Yemen. There's that breeze that comes and it takes all the souls of the believers. And then after that, then the most despicable people remain on the earth and they just do all types of fawahish. Shaitan just goes to them and just tells them, do this, and they're just having a good old time. And then these are the people that the hour is established on. But the point is that after the Dajjal, there's still believers on the earth for a period of time, right? So whatever you plant, even at that time, that the people could still benefit from it. So regardless, I mean, like I said, this narration, as far as the chain of narration, is weak, but the meaning is correct based on the hadith before. If you have this, don't hesitate to what you call it, to use this stuff and to benefit and to, just because you think, because that's what happens with a lot of people. You see this a lot nowadays where a lot of people, they get this doomsday attitude, and then I give up my businesses, I'm selling everything, and I'm moving to the countryside. Okay, how many people have done this and they move to the countryside, then 10 years go by, 20 years go by, and where's your doomsday? Where is it at? These things don't happen like that, akhi. So now they're like living off in the countryside, and they've given up all their life. How many people have done this?
I just like last year there was that Christian preacher saying that the world's gonna end in September.
Yeah,
and
so,
everybody's going out selling all their stuff and all of that.
yeah.
And then what?
Nothing.
Some random Christian preacher from South Africa said that the world.
Yeah, they keep having all this garbage every couple of years, The Mayan calendar, and all this type of stuff. They had it in the year 2000. They scared everybody saying, oh, there's a glitch in the computers and the computers can't switch over to 2000 and then everything's going to shut off and there's going to be no electricity. And I mean, I cannot tell you. I mean, even because we were worried, like we were in the masjid and this was in 2000, the whole Y2K thing, akhi. And, we were in the masjid in I'tikaf in Ramadan when this happened. But we were so like the brothers were so concerned of how the kuffar were going to act that I could tell you one thing, that there was not a space in that musalla that did not have a gun in it. Like there were so many guns in that masjid for like the turning of 2000. It was no joke, because all the brothers put the guns in the masjid to say, okay, if something happens, we're all coming back to the masjid. And we were in there at the calf, so we just sat there with just guns all over the place in Atlanta. So I mean, that's just to show you how serious like the people were taking that stuff. Like, but we were looking at like, we didn't care if the world's gonna end. We just care about what? Kuffar acting stupid. We're in Bankhead, we're in the worst neighborhood in Atlanta. So we're just concerned about what the kuffar are gonna do,
And this was before 9/11 too, right?
Yeah, this is the turning of the century, the turning of the millennium.
They have switches back then.
No, I don't think so. I've never heard of switches. We had AK-47s. No, like real proper. And I don't know what all was in the masjid. It was everything. Like so many brothers brought guns and just left them in the masjid. They weren't for us. They were for the brothers. If something happened, that everybody was going to come back to the masjid. So they just wanted everything in the masjid. We were in I'tikaf, so we were going to be there watching everything, making sure nobody. Yeah, so we just ended up just shooting.
Shooting?
Yeah, it's Atlanta. New Year's, what are you going to do? Nothing happened. It went over 12 o'clock. Everybody started shooting.
Oh, to celebrate that the world didn't end?
Yeah, the world didn't end. We still had electricity. So everybody just started shooting.
Falling out of the sky.
Huh?
Planes were falling out of the sky.
Yeah, akhi, man. Well, like, that's all scary, man. That's the whole thing, man. That's how Shaitan controls people. And the kuffar, they learn their tactics of control from Shaitan. And the Shaitan controls people through fear.
COVID, 9/11.
These cats are going crazy. Any questions? No, I wasn't in America for 9/11, so I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know none of that stuff. In fact, I didn't even know really what happened for like years. I don't think I ever saw the video of what happened in 9/11. Probably it took maybe like until like 2007. Maybe I didn't see the video.
That's when I first learned about it. I was a little kid.
No, but I knew about it because I was listening to it on the radio. Sheikh was speaking about it in the dark, so we knew what happened, but I'm saying we just didn't know the full detail of what happened because we heard it on the radio. So,
It said, if it is said that it is from extremism to dismiss hadith, if one of the narrators is majhul hal, what is the response?
how's it? What? Say that again.
If it is said
I just want to make sure I heard that correctly before I even say anything.
If it is said that it is from extremism to dismiss hadith, if one of the narrators is majhul hal, what is the response?
The response is like, are you drunk? Like, seriously, like you have like a proper mind. Like how would you accept a narrator who's majhulul hal? Like how? And you're talking about your deen? You know, you're talking about taking your deen from somebody that you don't even know his. Nah, that's crazy. That's beyond. That's beyond, like, I mean, that's just like ignorance to a whole nother level. But that's not ignorance for the sake of just being ignorant. That's ignorance of like what? That's ignorance in the actual meaning of English, the English word ignorance, ignoring the truth. You know, they're just ignoring it.
Damn
Like,
it, get the hell away from me.
sorry for the language, people, but one of the cats just clawed up Ibrahim.
I'm going.
Now we have to put a parental advisory sticker on the video.
Well, what's the major?
His like his state is unknown
Oh,
because he's not known to be a student of hadith. So it's like, okay, somebody comes up to me. I mean, obviously it's a lot different nowadays, right? Because nowadays you got the internet and you can just listen to things online. But I'm just saying, like, let's just like imagine for a second that we don't have the internet. Okay, I studied in Damaj. Mundir studied in Damaj. Abdul Hakim studied in Damaj. We all know each other. All right, we all know each other. You know, we all know who you know, basically each level. We know who's who, right? All right, but then another person comes along, we don't know, and he said, "Yeah, I studied in Damaj," and Sheikh Yahya said this, and Sheikh Yahya said that, and we're like, "Who is this guy?" So then the people come to us and they ask us, like, "Do you know him?" I'm like, "No, I've never heard of this guy." Right? So now you're going to go take knowledge from him. And, you know, you have the students of that sheikh telling you, we don't even know who this guy is. So that's what Majhul al-Hal is. It's like you have like the students, like you have this guy, he's narrating from the sheikh. And the students that really sat with the sheikh, they're like, who is this guy? Who is it? And then you got the top students that don't narrate this hadith from the sheikh. So again, he might be right. It's not saying that what he's saying is not true. All right. Maybe the guy comes along and he said, Sheikh Yahya said this. And I say, well, I don't know. I never heard the Sheikh say this. Abdul Hakim says, I never heard the Sheikh say this. Mundir says, I never heard the Sheikh say this. So what are we going to, we're supposed to accept it? We're going to reject it because one, we don't know who the guy is. And two, we don't know the statement coming from the Sheikh. Right? Now, is it possible the Sheikh said it? Yes. But we don't do this. This is not how the deen. The deen, it goes back to what? Certainty, yaqeen. We don't build our, we don't build our religion on assumptions, on maybes, on hypothetical situations, on, no, this is not probabilities. This is not mathematical statistics right now. This is like, okay, these are the students of that sheikh. They don't narrate this hadith. This guy comes along, nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows, they know who he is, but they don't know him to be what? A student of that sheikh. Like even if he, a taxi driver, I've sat with Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, and taxi drivers sat in the dars with him. You understand? Taxi drivers, because why? They're just sitting there because they go there, they pray Maghrib, and they're waiting, and there's a dars going on, and they just stay. Most of those taxi drivers in Saudi Arabia don't even understand Arabic. They don't even know what the Sheikh's saying. They're just going to sit there until what? Until Salat al-Isha, he's going to pray, he's going to go home. That's it. So does that mean now that this taxi driver can go around and narrate from Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, and I'm a student of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan? So the students, the actual students of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, the ones that are in the front row, or even like the brother Dhul Qaranain, the Indonesian brother who sits next to the Sheikh, he's actually the driver for the Sheikh. He said, I don't know who this guy is. So we're going to take knowledge from this guy that we don't know who he is? That doesn't even make sense. So that's not extremism. That's just that's intelligence. That's normal. If you don't know who a person is, like how would you take knowledge from him for anything? I mean, and that includes anything, anything. So Allah Mustaan, but especially your deen. The deen is like, come on, man. You got people that sit there and do things in the dunya, and then they'll do these things in the dunya, but then when it comes to the deen, what? They're so lax. They're so, wow, you're being extreme. You're being extreme, but you won't even accept this in your dunya. If you were trying to buy an apartment, or not to buy an apartment, or rent an apartment, or buy a house, oh, look how much research you do. Look how much research you do to find out who the previous owners were, and you're trying to look for all the problems, and you want to go check, Google, what is that? The Google, reviews and you want to read about this and read about that. But then when it comes to your deen, you just accept anything. You know, you won't buy something off of Amazon until like what? Same thing. You want to buy something off of Amazon and you go and there's like no reviews for that thing. What happens? Do you buy it? Now, if you go there and and there's like mixed reviews, but there's like a 3-point something rating, do you buy it? All right. Well, so what's your criteria for buying something on Amazon? At least 4.2, 4.3, and at least a couple hundred people have bought it, and there are reviews that don't seem like they're robots. You know, where people like include images and stuff of the product, and then you know, and they're not all just yeah. So you have criteria, right? Whether or not you're going to, so that's how serious you got these stringent criteria that you utilize when you're just going to purchase something from Amazon. But with your deen, you just accept anything. You just accept any majhul, any person to come up and speak about the deen, and you're going to accept it. Yeah, if we understood this thing about people being majhul, how many people would you take your deen from in America? Well, like 4 people, probably 4 or 5 people. Because none of these people went out and studied. None of them have a background of seeking knowledge. None of them. None of them. None of these big superstar celebrity imams, none of them have a background. And I won't say none of them. Very, very few of them. Very, very few. And the ones that do actually have a background of studying aqid, they've strayed so far from the path. So, I mean, you're talking about like a very, very, probably more than 4 or 5 people. I'll say like, but there's going to be like a handful. Like, there's going to be like 1 person in each area of America. 1 or 2 people. How many people are going to take your knowledge from? So, khalas. But that's the problem. The problem is the people get into all these problems that we got into now. There's disunification of the Muslims in America because you're taking your deen from people who are not even known for seeking knowledge. You know, Allah musta'an, you got people that have a secular educational background coming around telling you about the deen and telling you how to be a Muslim and what Islam is about. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. Go to any of these Islamic centers. I say that in a very, very, so much. If you could feel the sarcasm in my voice when I say Islamic center, because there's nothing Islamic about these centers, you know, other than the 5 daily prayers. That's it. Because Islam is not practiced or nor taught in there outside of those 5 daily prayers. But if you go to any of these Islamic centers, who gets up and gives all these talks? Some dude in a suit, or some dude in a pants and a shirt, some engineer, some chiropractor.
Some guy in a suit with
Yeah.
Some guy in some corduroys with a button-up shirt and bulletproof.
Yeah, and he's probably got like, you know, master's degree in some stupid science.
Like plant science.
Translation and plant science.
But what I'm saying is like none of these people have a background of studying the deen. They're majhul. But that's the problem. We get into this whole thing. Go to like, say I grew up around what? The same thing. Like I grew up in a masjid that was run by all Pakistanis, right? The same thing. Who's getting up? Who's the imam of the masjid? This man never sat with one of the ulama in his whole entire life. All right, he was in a tahfidh program when he was a kid, and he studied comparative religions with the kuffar. That's his claim to fame. And now he's going to get up and tell us this is Islam. This is your religion. Yeah, nah, you're a majhul. We know who you are, but we don't know who you are. That's it, you know. And if you can't, because every person that ever pops up, all of these people, because people ask me about a bunch of people. I don't know who they are, but I go and search. And the first thing that I'm going to search for whenever I want to know a person's background is what? Who did you study with? Where did you study? And who did you study with? Yeah, I don't care about what you have for breakfast. I don't care about how many hours you sleep at night. I don't care about how many books you read in your life. Where did you study? And who did you study with? That's all I care about. From there on, I'll make, you know, I want to learn more about the person. But if I can't, and most of the people, you can't even find this information on the internet about it. You have some people, like you go and you research their background, you can't find anything about their seeking knowledge. And then you got these other brothers, akhi, that they wallahi, if you just read their biography without their name, you think like, man, mashallah, this guy's like Bukhari. He sat with everybody and their mama, man. He sat with every sheikh and his uncle and his mama. You know, it's like, come on, dude, be serious. How many sheikhs have you sat with? Because you went around sitting with sheikhs for like 2 days here, 2 days here, 2 days here. Yeah, if that's the case, then khalas, I got like about 50 sheikhs. 50 sheikhs that I sat with here and there, here and there, here and there. You know, no, who have you sat with? Who have you studied with? Who have you benefited from? And, but you're not gonna find that information. That's the information you need to know. That's the most important. That should be the first thing. All your degrees. I don't care about your degree from Medina University. Akhi, who did you sit with? Who did you benefit from? Did you benefit just from your professors in the university? Yeah, akhi, nah. Who the ulama that you sat with and benefited from? Nobody cares about the degrees. Nobody cares about all this stuff. You still, in that case, the person is majhul. If you go back to the students of that sheikh and they don't even know who the person is, then khalas. I mean, how are you going to take your knowledge from that person? So, Allahumma sa'an. That's not extremism. That's deen. That's deen, akhi. And wallah, it is everything about this deen is the highest level of intelligence. It takes you to the highest level of intelligence and it keeps you, and it's a protection for you. What happened? You got teeth marks in the pencil? From the cat.
Someone's walking away all deviously.
Any other questions?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
At some grocery stores, you need a membership to go in. You have to take a picture for the store ID. Would this be haram since it's tasweer? They usually have cheaper food.
Yeah, I mean that's what are the supermarkets that you have to take a picture for the ID for? You have to take a picture. You don't have to take a picture for Sam's, right?
No, not Sam's Club.
And go to Sam's Club.
I have a Sam's Club membership. I never.
Yeah. Just go to Sam's Club. I would rather just go to what's that supermarket called again? Not Save Mart, Akhi, the one that we've been fighting over the whole time.
Big saves.
Save and Final.
Smart and Final. I'd rather just go to Smart and Final and pay extra than to do that, man. Just no, it's not a necessity.
What about the Piggly Wiggly?
I think there are Piggly Wigglies, aren't there?
There's one in Tennessee. I know that.
Yeah, there actually is a thing called a Piggly Wiggly. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to read.
Smart and Final, the same thing. They sell stuff in bulk. You don't even need a membership for it.
You get your groceries on good.
They got a Piggly Wiggly down south, yeah.
Yeah, Piggly Wiggly. I never been in. I drove by it.
Somebody else is gonna have to ask the question. We just lost Yahya. We lost Yahya to the Piggly Wiggly.
He says there's an imam who seemingly calls to Salafiyah, but whenever he asks him, like we studied with, he doesn't want to say it. So should he still attend the lessons?
Yeah, you gotta be careful with people like that, because the thing is if I haven't studied with anybody, okay, I haven't studied with anybody. All right, I know brothers that, I mean, this is a bad example because I'm just not gonna mention the person's name. But there was like one brother that used to give dawah this is back in the 90s. He's an Arab guy. And all he did was he benefited, like he had all the tapes of Sheikh Al-Albani and all the books of Sheikh Al-Albani. And he just sat down and he went through all the books and all the tapes and all this stuff. And he started giving dawah. Now, he never went around saying, I'm a student of Sheikh Al-Albani, or no, he tell you straight up. He said, I am a student of the tapes and books of Sheikh Al-Albani. That's it. Say that. There's nothing wrong with benefiting from the ulama, online, just going through and benefiting. But akhi, just be clear about that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you have. That's the knowledge you have. And maybe that you're the only person that has that knowledge. Why would you be shy about that? Why would you have to hide? You don't have to hide no information. All right. If you don't have knowledge, like you didn't sit with anybody from amongst the ulama, so what? If you benefited from, like, you have the language, right? And the only means that you have at the time is to sit down and listen to the lessons of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen and read the books of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen or the Fatawa Sheikh Bin Baz, and you benefit from this. And you give dawah, you say, okay, the Sheikh said this, you're just telling the people what the Sheikh said, right? Khalas. I mean, alhamdulillah, the people are going to benefit from that. You don't need to hide, so people hide stuff, akhi, those people should not be trusted. They should not be trusted. It's simple. If you study with somebody, you study with somebody. You didn't. Khalas. I mean, there's no, Allah Mustaan. No point in like trying to cover that up and try to pretend, I studied with some sheikhs, they're Salafis. Well, what are their names? Those sheikhs that are Salafis, no, what are their names? And you don't want to know. Come on. So that would make me more concerned and make me more like, something ain't right. Who is that? Oh, he came through the back. He didn't want to disturb our live stream.
Oh wait, no. He says, "Salam, Sheikh." If
No question. Said Sheikh. Write the question again without that word in it. What's next?
that's the last one.
Oh,
Hamid says, instead, would you be down if I invited you to my Islamic school to give a talk just for the benefit of the people if you're ever in NYC?
I'm not just gonna be just out in NYC.
He just sees you walking down the street one day.
He's like, yeah, let me
Big Apple.
just go travel thousands of miles just to be in
You hiked all the
NYC.
way over there.
So yeah, I just came out here for a halal Jamaican beef patty. Akhi. You know, it's like, almost done.
Oh, yeah, I got one.
I mean, the only reason why I would be in NYC is like there's gonna have to be something that I have to come out there for. So yeah, almost done. But I don't think there's gonna be a time I'm just happen to be there. I mean, almost done.
Assalamu alaikum. If a woman is making up for her
Walaikum
missed-
salam wa rahmatullah.
if a woman is making up for her missed obligatory fast due to menstruation, can she have two intentions of she does it on Sunnah days to get more reward, Monday, Thursday?
No, if she's doing Ramadan.
If a woman is making
Yeah, but it's from Ramadan, yeah.
So, yeah.
No, the intention has to only be for Ramadan. That's it. If you can't have dual intentions. No, the intentions are only for Ramadan. You cannot have the intentions of fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. If it like let's say that it's a customary habit of yours to fast on Mondays and Thursdays. So you use Mondays and Thursdays to fast those days that you miss from Ramadan just because that's habitual for you, then that's not an issue. But you don't get the reward for the Mondays and Thursdays because you're performing an obligatory fast. So now your intentions has to be only for Ramadan, only. It's only for Ramadan. That's it. Everybody came in their own car today or what?
Yeah.
What does Yahya's car look like? I haven't seen Yahya.
Durango.
It's my mom's car. My car's still in the shop.
You do have a car.
Still in the shop.
All right.
Mitsubishi.
Because the 3 people came.
What do you think about the car in the middle with no plates? I haven't got pulled over just yet.
Just you.
I don't know nothing about anything that he's talking about. But if you are going to announce something, the live stream is probably not the best place to announce it. But yeah, it's okay. Anything else?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Instead, the kuffar at my workplace use swear words like candy. How to protect oneself from having these words feel harmful? Absolute crackheads.
You got to change your environment, Akhi. I don't know. I mean, it depends on me. You have to look at it. You just try to, I'm almost on. Either if you can't change your environment, you got to just avoid them as much as possible. I mean, you could advise them, but then you're just going to, I don't think they're be too concerned about your advice now because a lot of the people nowadays are so disrespectful. Like in the past, if they knew that you're a Muslim, then the people would tone down their language. They would actually tone it down back. Nowadays, the Muslims talk worse than the kuffar. So it's Allah musta'an. So we've lost that type of respect because we don't respect ourselves anymore. We honor ourselves, and the people, you'll see that the people honor us. We respect ourselves, and you see the people respect us. And when we respected ourselves and honored ourselves, the people feared us. But nowadays, akhi, the people have no respect for us because we don't respect ourselves anymore. You see, the Muslims are some of the biggest crackheads that I've seen over the last couple of years have been what? Muslims, akhi. Sadly. Not all Muslims. I mean, the best people that I've seen over the last couple of years have been Muslims. Because there ain't no kuffar that are good people that because they don't do anything for Allah. But some of the biggest crackheads that I've seen over the last couple of years have been Muslim or claim to be Muslim. They claim it. Allah knows best about as far as the level of their Islam. But it depends on what the job is and how much you're in need of that job, and try to find a different environment. Allah musta'an. The fact that we have to be suffering these types of environments is a sad state of affairs.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bro, why do you keep skipping this question?
You skipping somebody's question.
Which question?
He says if 10 people go to Jannah for those, what will it take for one to surpass all of them? How to be the best of the best in essence. Give advice to apply for the top 1%, not general mass.
Yeah, read the life of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and be that. Do what he did. You want to go to Jannatul Firdaus, but you want to be the top 100, the top 1%. Then you have to, almost like you have your whole life. Has to be for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and I use him as an example, not to, obviously the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best example, but I use him as an example because of what? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned min al-nabiyyin, siddiqeen, wa shuhada'i, wa salihin. So he mentioned the nabiyyin. Now, obviously none of us can ever fulfill those. That we're out of that. But now from the people that we can be, from the what siddiqeen, wa shuhada'i, wa salihin. So we can be from amongst these three. So the best of these three are the what? The Siddiqeen. And those are the Abu Bakrs, the Omars. These are the people that, their whole, like, they gave up what they had money for Allah. They had themselves for Allah. Everything for Allah. So, I mean, you want to be from the top, the 1% of the 1%, then that's what you have to do. Yeah. Everything has to be for Allah. So.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can you give stories of Salaf of how well they preserved their time?
How will they preserve their time? They didn't waste their time, period. They didn't, everything that they did that had some type of benefit. If it wasn't a benefit in the deen as far as knowledge, then it was a benefit of preserving Islam through other means. Like I mentioned about al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, how you would go out and shoot the bow and arrow and constantly practice archery. And you had so and that's the other means of preserving the deen. So they didn't waste their time, and their whole lives was all into the service of this deen. And that's what I said. Like, you were talking about being the 1% of the 1% type thing, the elite of the elite, and then that's them, and that's the lifestyle that they live. Not the night's not gonna go by. Imam al-Amash, rahimahullah, I can't remember how many years he mentioned. Was it 40 or was it 80? I have to go back and read it. But he mentioned that like he never saw the back of a person's head in any salat. Any salat. He was always in the front row for every single salat. And this we're talking about at a time when people would fight over being in the front row. Like, it's like I think I told you about that before. Like, being on the front row in the match. And how difficult, like you have to fight to get up there. And then when you get there, akhi, it's like so jam-packed. There was like, I told you, we go through these different phases. So when I was in the Masjid, this one point I got through this phase of like, I'm going to be in the front row for every salat, right? And I'm just going to stay there. I'm going to read Quran. I'm going to, I slept in the masjid just so I could be in the front row for Fajr. So I have like that brother Waleed, the one I told you, the Miskeen guy, that ended up, going like kind of, the local, Allah Yashfi. He used to wake us all up. We get up and pray, and then we go get ready, and we sit in the front row until the adhan was called, just so we could be there. But it would be so tight that every single part of my body would be hurting because we'd be so packed into that front row because everybody's trying to get in that front row. So you can imagine like 40 something years, and he said, I never saw the back of a person's head in the salah. Yeah, come on, man. Like, with me, like I said, when we talk about being at that type of level, we're not even close. Sheikh Yahya, when I used to go to Mecca, forget the Damascus thing. I'm saying this was like in Mecca. Every day that I used to go into the masjid in Mecca that he used to teach in, every day for Fajr that we used to go to the masjid, Sheikh Yahya was already on the front row with the Mus'haf open reading Quran. It's already there. It's already there. We're thinking we're getting there early. Sheikh's already there. And at this time, his father, Allah yarhamu, was alive. And his father used to be next to him sometimes. He used to be right there with him. So, he'd be right there on the front row with the Mus'haf already open, already reading the Quran. you know, long before we, you know, those, huh?
مدام شفت ابوها ابدا
ها؟
مدام شفت ابوها ابدا
من؟
شغاله
in Mecca. Yeah.
ده كان شخص يعني كبير جدا مثل كل الناس يعني جمال الحرب في المكان
Yeah.
كان هو بسم الله
Yeah, he was there. These cats are going crazy. So yeah, I mean, there's different people, man. May Allah make us from them, because we're definitely far, far, far from it. Far from it. Huh?
If there is a non-Muslim influencer who posts uncovered pictures, can we promote her program for weight loss and hair conditioning?
No, I don't promote fiscal.
Is cussing haram or not really?
It's haram. You know, it's from lahu, you know. And it's in the hadith that we said, ما كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فاحشا ولا متفاحشا. It's not from a Muslim to speak this type of language. You know, it should be avoided at all costs.
It's the same question.
Any issue in reading cuss words in text?
I mean, even if you're using a curse word as like hikayah, like I'm telling you what another person said, and then that's permissible because you're doing it for what? If there's a necessity for it, there's a necessity. Like for example, you're going to court and you have to tell like what the person said to you, and he said, well, he called me you know, MF or whatever. You know, you have to say it. You have to let the judge know. And then, you know, in certain those types of cases, it's permissible to use it. You're just reading, like, and reading a story is just like that. But I mean, why would you want to be reading books that have that type of language in it, anyways? What type of books are you reading? Huh?
Text.
Oh, a text message or what? Actually, I wouldn't text anybody that uses that type of language. If a person uses that type of language, actually, I'm not dealing with you no more. So,
Okay, I'm gonna read this question out. Go.
now, only one person I think. So one brother from Damascus that kind of uses that type of language that I'm patient with, and that's because he's funny when he does it, and it's just how he is. It's just his nature, you know. So there's nothing. Hey man, get.
But he studied.
Oh yeah, he studied for 20-something years in Damascus. Yeah, but it's just that's how he is. He's like he's like an old grouchy brother, and yeah. But the way that he does it is just so natural and funny. So that's it. But other than that, I wouldn't even text a person that uses that type of language.
How to understand seeking protection and Allah through His words and names? How is that different from calling Allah's attributes only like "Oh mercy of Allah" or hand of Allah or anyone else?
Oh, what?
So, how to understand seeking protection in Allah through His words and names? How is that different from calling Allah's attribute only like "Oh mercy of Allah" or "Oh hand of Allah" or anyone else?
Seeking refuge in Allah. Read it again.
How to understand seeking protection in Allah through His words and names? How is that different from calling Allah's attributes only like "Oh mercy"? Only.
But I mean, we do what we get from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What he did. So, like for example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the dua said, "A'udhu bi kalimati Allahi tammati min sharri ma khalaq." So he's seeking refuge with what? A'udhu bi kalimati Allahi tammati with what? The words, the speech of Allah. You know, and even Imam Ahmed, he used this as evidence against the people that used to say that the Quran is created and the speech of Allah is created. He's showing that no, it's not, because it wouldn't be permissible to seek refuge in the speech of Allah if it was what? It's created, because now you're like seeking refuge in something other than Allah. But no, it's the speech of Allah. It's His attribute. You know, but this came in a narration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So anything that we do of worship, we do it the way that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it. We don't just go up and just make up stuff. So if it's something that he did, we do it. Something that he didn't do, what? Don't do it. Khalas. I mean, it's very simple. So wallah, it's the easiest deen, you know. You know, there's no, the only taklif that you have, the only, you know, burden, like, I won't say burden, but like the only responsibility you have as a Muslim is to do what? Is to go and read through the hadith and sit with the ulama and get the knowledge, right? But it's there. Everything's there. This is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. we do it based on the understanding of the Salaf. He didn't do this, and we don't know the Salaf to have done this, so we don't do it because what? We don't go around just making things up as we go along. Everything's there. The deen is complete. So Allah Mustaan. Any more questions? All right. Salam. Well, we're gonna have to cut this one off anyways because we got to do the other live stream. So inshallah, because it's the time.
There's one though.
Hmm.
If an influencer is selling a course and it contains a section on holiday cookies like for Christmas, are we allowed to promote that product for commission or help write that book?
It's an influencer for what? Like a Muslim or what?
It's just an influencer is selling a course.
I mean, if they're kuffar, you should never promote anything that they do.
It contains a section on holiday cookies.
I'm saying if it's a kuffar, you shouldn't promote anything that they do.
I think this is just what the person that they do for work is they help. They like saying like to write a book, and in the book contains a section or in a course.
Oh, they're writing a book for somebody or what?
They're doing some type of work like they're providing a service like a website. Like this is what they're doing for they're making money from it. But so like part of the influencer's course or book or website, it contains a section on making holiday cookies.
Well, if it's like Christmas and all that stuff, no, then you're participating in the sin for that part. Best to avoid it if you can. All right, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All right, inshallah, khalas, man. Inshallah, we're gonna go to the second live stream of the book on Ramadan, inshallah. إلهنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
I got